I'm Janice Stein, and I teach international politics and decision-making at the Munk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy.
I'm Peter Loewen, and I'm a professor of political science, public policy. And together with Janice, I teach a class in strategy and decision-making. The real central animating purpose of this course is to make you think about how you can make better decisions. And we take students through a number of ways of thinking about decisions, about how decisions can be made rationally, about how our emotions and our biases and other things enter in to erode the ability to make decisions rationally. And we talk about how to make decisions together, how to plan strategies that can lead to not only better decisions, but better outcomes.
This course also examines how we make decisions in crisis and how we deal with the really difficult uncertainties, especially those in crisis. And that is an absolutely critical skill for students as they begin their careers.
So why is it so important to understand decision-making and strategy, particularly in times of crisis? Look, the world's a whole bunch of happenstance and a whole bunch of accidents. But at the core of it, there's decision makers who decide sometimes to act, sometimes not to act. They make decisions over what they're going to do in terms of allocating resources, in terms of taking on risk and addressing uncertainty. Why are those decisions made? What's the evidentiary basis for them? What's the mental model people are using? I think understanding how those decisions get made, how better decisions could have been made, and understanding retrospectively how to evaluate those decisions is exactly what we need to figure out how to make decisions into the future. And it's not an academic exercise. We're going to be hit by a second wave of COVID, for example, and how we decide to balance opening up and closing, how we decide to balance the spread of risk is going to determine how societies are going to come through that and which ones are going to come out of it on the other end better off rather than worse off.
You know, I agree with Peter. One of the fun things about this course is some days Peter and I will agree, some days we will disagree, and students will have a front row seat at these disagreements as we argue this out. This is not only a national story, it is a global story. Yes. So we're going to make decisions, for example, about how we allocate vaccines, who's first in line. What are the norms? What are the values? What are the strategies, Peter, for southern countries to get access to vaccines over these next 2 years? All of that gets wrapped up in understanding what the basis for decision making is and what strategies, what choices, what risk we take on.